On the morning of November 5th, 2015, Mikhail Lesin was found dead inside his hotel room in DuPont Circle Hotel in Washington, D.C. Lesin had been invited to attend a fundraising dinner at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel 2 nights before, but he never showed up. Mikhail Lesin was a Russian political figure, media executive, and advisor to Russian President Vladimir Putin. He was considered by many to be one of Russia's most powerful media officials. Lesin worked for Vladimir Putin during his first term as president, during which Lesin worked to silence any anti-Putin critics by consolidating control over the country's media under the Kremlin. During Putin's second term, Lesin was named senior presidential advisor, where he founded the news network Russia Today. Lesin once described Russia Today as a news channel to counter Western media. Lesin's career in government ended in 2009 when Dmitry Medvedev took over Russia's presidency. In 2012, when Putin was elected for a third term as president, Lesin took over Russia's state-owned Gazprom Media, which is another organization seen by many critics as an effort by the Kremlin to crack down on dissenting voices in the media. Then, out of nowhere, in December of 2014, Lesin resigned from Gazprom. Intelligence and law enforcement sources claimed that Lesin had a falling out with Putin's close confidants and immediately went into hiding abroad. Not much is known about Lesin's final days before his death. What is known is that Lesin had met with friends from Russia who lived in Washington at the time and was drinking heavily on the night of November 2nd. On the morning of November 3rd, Lesin went to a liquor store and returned to the hotel with alcohol. Sources close to the investigation claimed that on the night of November 4th, a security video showed Lesin returning to the hotel in a disheveled state. Then, later in the night, a security guard found Lesin drunk in his room and tried to help him in bed, but Lesin resisted. Lesin's body was found the next morning on November 5th in his hotel room. Russian news media initially reported that Lesin died of a heart attack. However, after almost a year-long investigation, United States federal prosecutors announced that Lesin died alone in his hotel room due to a series of drunken falls from excessive alcohol consumption. Lesin's death was ruled an accident, and prosecutors subsequently closed the case. However, 3 government officials, 2 FBI agents, and 1 U.S. intelligence officer close to the case claimed that the FBI obtained evidence and conducted witness interviews that indicate that Lesin did not die due to drunken falls, but was beaten to death. The intelligence officer said that the weapon used was a baseball bat. Lesin's body had blunt trauma to the head, had bruises on the neck, bruises on the torso, bruises on the arms, and bruises on the legs. A source close to the office of the chief medical examiner of Washington, D.C. claimed that Lesin had fractured ribs, a fact that was never officially made public. One FBI agent told BuzzFeed's investigational team, "There isn't a single person inside the bureau who believes the guy got drunk, fell, and died. Everyone thinks he was whacked, and that Putin and the Kremlin were behind it. There seems to be an effort here to cover up that fact for reasons I can't get into." A source close to the investigation said Lesin was going to talk about the inner workings of Russia Today, but he never made it to the interview. None of the details and evidence gathered from the government's investigation were made public. When asked for additional information, the FBI, who assisted in the investigation, declined to comment. The Department of Justice also declined to comment. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia said that it had nothing to add beyond that Lesin's death was an accident. The D.C. Medical Examiner's Office said it was barred by law from releasing any details of the autopsy, so it could not comment beyond the official statement that Lesin's death was an accident. A BuzzFeed news reporter submitted requests under the Freedom of Information Act for the FBI and the Department of Justice to complete records on the investigation. The Washington, D.C. Police Department eventually released 58 pages of its case file on Lesin's death. However, a good amount of the files are blacked out, and nothing in the report mentions Lesin falling down while drunk, which is officially the reason why he died. The report does confirm that Lesin was drunk when he died. His blood alcohol level was 0.15. The files show that the surveillance footage of the hallway outside Lesin's room was defective and did not contain 3 hours between when Lesin was last seen alive and when he died. The police declined to comment if they were ever able to obtain and review the 3 hours of missing footage. Other than that, there is not much new information in these files. Until more evidence into the investigation is released, all we could go off of is accounts from anonymous sources close to the investigation. But based off those accounts, it looks like Lesin's death was not due to drunken falls, but something much more sinister.